There are certain phrases we often say without thinking, but they can hurt or dismiss someone's feelings, especially when directed at women. Phrases like "smile more," "don't be so sensitive," or "I don't care" can make them feel invalidated or disrespected. In this article, we'll explore 10 things you should never say to a woman and why they matter. Let's learn how to communicate with more care and respect. Lesson 1. Smile more. Have you ever been told, "Smile more"? Maybe you were walking down the street, lost in your own thoughts, and someone told you to smile. It's like they don't care about how you feel, they just want you to look happy, no matter what's going on inside. When someone tells a woman to smile more, they are ignoring her feelings. They are saying that her natural expression isn't good enough. She might be tired, sad, or just focused on something important. But instead of understanding that, the person wants her to change how she looks, just to please others. This can make women feel like they have to act a certain way, even if that's not how they feel. It's like saying, "Your feelings don't matter, just make sure you look happy." Over time, this can hurt her confidence and make her feel like she's not allowed to show her true emotions. Think about it this way: would you tell someone who is upset or dealing with a hard time to smile more? No, because you would want to know if they're okay. So why tell a woman to smile when she might be going through something difficult? It's not fair to expect someone to fake happiness just to make others feel comfortable. Instead of telling someone to smile more, try asking, "How are you feeling?" or "Is everything okay?" By showing that you care about their feelings, you can make them feel respected and understood. Let's stop worrying about how people look and focus more on how they feel. Showing real care and understanding is more important than a smile that hides the truth. Lesson 2. Don't take this in the wrong way. Have you ever heard someone say, "Don't take this in the wrong way," right before they say something that might hurt or offend you? It happens often. For example, someone might say, "You're good at your job, but you should dress more professionally. Don't take this in the wrong way." The phrase "don't take this in the wrong way" is usually a warning before a comment that could make someone feel uncomfortable or disrespected. When someone says, "Don't take this in the wrong way," it's often used as an excuse for saying something rude or inappropriate. It's like they're trying to cover up the hurtful words they're about to say. The problem is, it can make the other person feel like their feelings don't matter. It creates this weird situation where they're expected to just take the comment without reacting, even if it's hurtful. In many cases, the person saying it doesn't want to deal with the negative reaction to their words, so they warn the other person ahead of time. But this only makes the situation worse because it makes the other person feel like they have to accept whatever is said, no matter how it makes them feel. Think about how this would feel if you were on the receiving end. Imagine you've been working really hard, and someone says, "Don't take this in the wrong way," but your ideas are kind of off track. You're probably going to feel hurt, and that phrase doesn't make it better, it makes it worse. Instead of talking openly and respectfully, they're trying to cover up their criticism. It's not fair to hide behind those words when you're about to say something that could affect someone's self-esteem. Using "don't take this in the wrong way" doesn't protect anyone, it just avoids taking responsibility for making someone feel bad. The next time you want to say something that might be critical, stop and think before using "don't take this in the wrong way." Instead, say what you mean honestly and respectfully. You can still give feedback, but you should do it in a way that shows you care about the other person's feelings. For example, instead of saying, "Don't take this in the wrong way," you could say, "I think there's an opportunity for improvement here, and I'd like to help." Be kind and thoughtful in how you communicate. Words have power, and we should use them wisely to build people up, not tear them down. Lesson 3. Don't be so sensitive. Have you ever been told, "Don't be so sensitive," when you were hurt by something someone said? It happens more than we realize. For example, If a woman expresses that something bothered her, someone might reply with, "Don't be so sensitive." This response often shuts down the conversation and makes the woman feel like her feelings are not valid. When you tell someone "don't be so sensitive," you're dismissing their emotions. You're implying that they should just ignore their feelings and not react to something that made them uncomfortable or upset. This kind of response teaches people, especially women, that their emotions don't matter. It can make them feel like they have to hide their true feelings just to avoid being labeled as too sensitive. In reality, emotions are a natural part of being human, and everyone reacts differently to things. Just because someone is upset doesn't mean they're overreacting, it means they feel something deeply. By telling someone to not be so sensitive, you're trying to invalidate their experience, which can hurt their confidence in expressing themselves. Imagine this: you're at work, and someone makes a comment about your appearance that bothers you. You share how it made you feel, but they respond with, "Don't be so sensitive." How would that make you feel? It would probably make you want to shut down and hide your emotions even more. It's important to remember that everyone reacts differently to situations. What might not bother one person could hurt another. By telling someone not to be sensitive, you are ignoring their perspective and making them feel like they should just keep quiet about things that matter to them. Instead of telling someone not to be so sensitive, listen to their feelings and try to understand why they're reacting the way they are. A better response would be, "I didn't mean to upset you, but I understand why you feel that way." This shows empathy and respect for their emotions. Remember, everyone has different emotional boundaries, and it's important to respect that. By doing this, you create an environment where people feel safe to express themselves without fear of being dismissed. We should never tell someone to ignore their feelings, because their emotions are real and deserve to be acknowledged. Lesson 4: Can I have your number? It's a common line, isn't it? Can I have your number? It can happen anywhere, at a coffee shop, a party, or even on the street. Often, it's asked by someone who has just met you, and you feel unsure about how to respond. This question is usually aimed at women, and many times, it's said without any real respect for their feelings or comfort. When someone asks, "Can I have your number?" without first building trust or showing respect, it can feel uncomfortable. The problem isn't the question itself, but the way it's often asked. Many women are asked for their number in situations where they don't feel safe or in control. This can make them feel pressured, and like their personal boundaries don't matter. Asking for someone's contact information, especially without getting to know them or establishing a respectful connection, can come across as invasive or even objectifying. It's not about the number, but about the way someone sees you. It reduces you to just your contact information, without thinking about the fact that you are a person with your own privacy and comfort levels. Imagine being in a situation where you've just met someone, and they immediately ask for your number. How would you feel? Some might feel flattered, but for many, it feels like an intrusion. Women are often asked this question in situations where they're alone or in a vulnerable position. It's not just about the discomfort of giving out personal information, it's about feeling that your space isn't being respected. Women often face this kind of behavior daily, and it can lead to feelings of anxiety, as they are constantly approached in a way that doesn't consider their feelings or personal boundaries. Instead of asking for someone's number right away, take the time to build a genuine connection first. Ask questions that show interest in who they are as a person, not just as a way to get their phone number. If you want to stay in touch with someone, try to get to know them better before jumping straight to asking for their contact information. Respect for someone's personal space and boundaries is key. In the long run, this will help build trust and meaningful relationships. Always consider how the other person might feel before making a request. Their comfort and privacy are just as important as your desire to connect. Lesson 5: What's wrong? How many times have you heard someone ask, "What's wrong?" when you're just feeling down or quiet? Maybe you're having a bad day, and someone says this out of concern. However, when the question is asked too often, especially with the tone of urgency, it can start to feel like you have to explain yourself, like you're expected to share your problems when you're not ready. While "what's wrong" might be asked with good intentions, it can feel frustrating. The problem isn't with the question itself, it's how it's asked. Sometimes, when a woman is feeling upset, this question feels like an interrogation, forcing her to explain her emotions when she's not ready to do so. It can make her feel like her feelings need to be fixed, instead of just being understood. It also puts pressure on the woman to open up when she might not feel comfortable or might not even know what's wrong. Forcing someone to talk about something they're not ready to share can make them feel isolated, like they're being pushed to reveal their vulnerabilities without support. Think about a time when you were upset, and instead of being allowed space to process your feelings, someone asked, "What's wrong?" over and over again. How did it feel? Often, this question can feel like an emotional burden. It's as if your feelings need to be explained or fixed right away. For many, it may feel like they have to act like everything is fine, or that they need to justify their emotions, which just adds more stress. Women, in particular, can feel like they're being judged for showing any signs of vulnerability. It's important to recognize that sometimes, it's okay for someone to be quiet or emotional without needing to explain everything immediately. Instead of asking, "What's wrong?" try offering space and understanding first. You could say, "I'm here if you want to talk," or simply, "Take your time, I'm here for you." This gives the person the option to share, but without pressure. It shows you care, but also respect their boundaries. Sometimes, just being there without asking for an explanation is the best support you can give. Everyone processes emotions differently, and they need time to figure things out on their own. By being patient, you show that their feelings matter more than any quick answers. Lesson 6. You look tired. Ever been told, "You look tired"? It happens a lot. Maybe you've had a long week or a busy day, and someone points out that you look tired. On the surface, it might seem like they're showing concern. But when this phrase is said too often, it can feel like an insult, as if your appearance is only valuable when you look perfect. Telling someone you look tired can feel like a criticism, even if it's meant to be caring. It brings attention to how you look instead of how you feel. While someone might think they are simply pointing out that you look exhausted, it can make you feel self-conscious about your appearance. It's as though you're being judged not for what's going on in your life, but just for your face. And sometimes, the last thing you want is to be reminded of your tiredness when you already feel drained. This phrase often doesn't offer real support or help, it's just pointing out something negative. In the long run, hearing this over and over can lead to low self-esteem, especially when you feel like your worth is based only on your appearance. Imagine you've had a rough day, or maybe you've been going through a challenging time. You're trying your best to handle everything, but then someone says, "You look tired." What do you feel? Probably frustrated and maybe even embarrassed. It's like you're being reduced to your tiredness and not being seen for your strength or efforts. Women, in particular, are often told how they look, whether it's about their tiredness, appearance, or body. This creates an unrealistic pressure to always look fresh, always look perfect. It's important to realize that sometimes, people just need space and understanding, not another comment on their tiredness. Instead of saying, "You look tired," try showing empathy and concern in a way that values how someone feels. For example, you could say, "It seems like you've had a tough day. Do you want to talk about it?" Or simply, "I'm here if you need a break." This offers support and shows that you care about their well-being rather than just their appearance. Everyone has moments where they feel worn out, and instead of making someone feel worse by commenting on their tiredness, it's better to offer a kind word or a listening ear. This helps people feel understood and appreciated for who they are, not just how they look. Lesson 7. You're acting crazy. Have you ever been told, you're acting crazy when you are upset or passionate about something? It can happen when someone disagrees with you or doesn't understand your feelings. For example, maybe you're trying to explain why you're upset, but instead of being listened to, the response you get is, you're acting crazy. This can be very hurtful and dismissive. When someone tells you, you're acting crazy, it can feel like they are invalidating your emotions. It makes it seem like your feelings are not reasonable or worthy of respect. When people feel strong emotions, such as anger or frustration, telling them they're acting crazy makes them feel small, like they have no right to feel that way. It dismisses their point of view and makes them feel misunderstood. Over time, this phrase can erode someone's confidence and make them afraid to express themselves openly, especially if they're feeling vulnerable. Rather than helping this situation, it can make it worse, as it adds shame to their already difficult emotions. Imagine you're upset about something important, and the person you're speaking to responds with, "You're acting crazy." How would you feel? It would probably make you feel invalidated and even more upset. Women are often told this, especially when they express strong emotions or stand up for themselves. The message they get is that their emotions are somehow wrong or over the top. This kind of response can lead to women feeling like they have to hide their feelings or apologize for being emotional, which is not healthy for anyone. Instead of saying, "You're acting crazy," try to listen and understand what the person is feeling. If someone is upset, ask them, "Can you help me understand what's bothering you?" Or, "I can see this is really important to you." This shows that you value their emotions and want to understand where they're coming from. Everyone has the right to express their feelings without being told they're crazy. By offering support and listening, you help create an environment where emotions are respected, not dismissed. Lesson 8. It's just guy stuff. Have you ever been told, "It's just guy stuff" when you didn't understand something or didn't feel included? This phrase is often used when something is being explained or done in a way that's supposed to be exclusive to men. For example, if a woman shows interest in something typically seen as a guy thing, like sports or gaming, someone might say, "It's just guy stuff." When you say, "It's just guy stuff," you are excluding someone based on their gender. This phrase suggests that certain things or activities are only for men and that women shouldn't bother with them. It sends the message that women aren't allowed to be part of certain groups or interests, which can be incredibly limiting. When women are told this, it can make them feel like their interests or curiosity don't matter. This reinforces stereotypes and keeps people from being themselves. It's not just about hobbies or activities, it's about making sure everyone feels equal, regardless of gender. If we keep using phrases like this, we will keep putting up invisible walls that prevent real equality. Imagine this: you're really interested in something that's usually associated with men, like a sport, car repairs, or tech gadgets. You're excited to learn more, but when you ask questions, someone brushes you off and says, "It's just guy stuff." How would you feel? Probably frustrated and excluded, right? This is a common experience for women who want to break into male-dominated fields or interests. Instead of being encouraged to pursue their interests, they're pushed away with the excuse that they don't belong. This phrase assumes that women can't enjoy or be good at certain things, which is simply not true. Instead of saying, "It's just guy stuff," try to be more inclusive. If someone expresses interest in something, encourage them to explore it further, regardless of their gender. For example, you could say, "That's awesome. Let's talk about it more." Everyone should feel free to engage with what interests them, without being held back by outdated gender stereotypes. By being open-minded and supportive, we can create a world where everyone, no matter their gender, feels welcome to participate in any activity or conversation. Lesson 9. I liked it better. How many times have you been told, "I liked it better before"? It might happen when you've changed your look, your style, or even your ideas. Maybe you decided to try something new, but someone comments, "I liked it better the old way." This comment can make you feel like your efforts to improve or change don't matter. When someone says, "I liked it better before," it can feel discouraging. It makes you feel like what you did or how you changed doesn't meet their expectations. This kind of comment can hurt your confidence and make you second-guess your choices. Whether it's a new hairstyle, a change in your clothing style, or a new way of thinking, your efforts to express yourself or grow should be respected. Telling someone you liked something better before ignores their progress and can make them feel like they're not enough. It's important to realize that people change and evolve, and they should be supported in those changes, not criticized for them. Imagine you've worked hard on something, whether it's your personal appearance, a new project, or a change in how you approach life, and someone responds with, "I liked it better before." How would that make you feel? Probably disappointed and like your effort didn't matter. Women often hear this kind of comment, especially when they try something new or different, whether it's a new haircut, a change in their career, or simply growing as a person. It can make them feel like they should go back to the way things were, even if they're happy with their progress. The comment doesn't acknowledge their growth or the effort they put into making a change. Instead of saying, "I liked it better before," try to appreciate the effort someone has made, even if you don't fully agree with the change. For example, say, "I can see you've made a change. What inspired it?" This shows interest and support for their personal journey, rather than just focusing on what was in the past. People need to feel that their efforts to grow, improve, and express themselves are valued. By encouraging them in their choices, you help build their confidence and support their self-expression. Lesson 10. I don't care. Have you ever heard someone say, "I don't care," when you're trying to share something important to you? It can happen when you're talking about something you're passionate about, but the other person responds with, "I don't care." This can be hurtful and make you feel like your thoughts or feelings are not important. When someone says, "I don't care," it can feel like they're dismissing your emotions or opinions. It shows that they are not interested in what you have to say, and it can make you feel unimportant. Sharing your thoughts and feelings is a way of connecting with others. When someone shuts that down with a phrase like "I don't care," it can be damaging to your relationship with them. Over time, being ignored or dismissed can make you feel isolated or unheard. If people continue to express this attitude, it can lead to feelings of rejection, and you might stop sharing your thoughts or feelings altogether. Imagine trying to talk to someone about something that's important to you, but they respond with, "I don't care." How would you feel? It would probably make you feel like your voice doesn't matter. For women, this kind of response can be especially hurtful, as it may happen when they're trying to talk about something serious, whether it's their work, their feelings, or a concern they have. It creates a feeling of not being heard, which can be damaging to any relationship, whether it's with a friend, partner, or colleague. Instead of saying, "I don't care," try to listen and show interest. Even if you're not personally invested in a topic, you can still show that you care about the other person's feelings. For example, say, "I'm not sure I understand, but I want to hear more about it." This helps create a more respectful and supportive environment where people feel valued. Even if you don't agree with someone or aren't interested in their point of view, showing empathy and respect can go a long way in strengthening your relationships. Everyone deserves to be heard, and by caring about their feelings, you help create a stronger, more positive connection.